Yo guys, welcome back to Look Deeper. Obviously, as you can see, I'm missing someone else next to me. Bella couldn't make it today, unfortunately. But we will continue and process, what's going on and carry on without him. He'll be here next episode, hopefully. The guys that I'm with today, they're making a return. It's been a while. I know a lot of people have been asking, when's the podcast episode coming out and everything, but we thought, we'd give you guys a little bit of teasers throughout TikTok. Hopefully this episode will come out as well. Obviously, it's our first time doing this, so we're getting into the hangs of things with YouTube and everything. But yeah, so I'm going to introduce the guys. Anyway, guys, so yeah, as you can see, Bella's back. Changed up the hairstyle a little bit. But yeah, this is Warzone Health with me today, as you can see. We've got Yasin and Anas with us as well.
Everyone. Yo, thank you for having us back on.
Yeah,
Pleasure to be here.
no problem, mate.
Oh, you're not going to choose my name?
We've got Mehdi,
Thank you.
the man, the
Mehdi,
myth, the legend
got-
himself.
We've got Anas, high testosterone Hufani.
We've got Yasin, even higher testosterone.
Good start. So yeah, guys, obviously throughout all the clips and everything we've been posting on TikTok, we've been getting a lot of, controversy, let's say that. But a lot of positive reviews as well. There's been a lot of people asking when's it coming out and everything. But yeah, like I said, it's been something that we're trying to learn. But yeah, what do you think of like everything that we posted, and what do you guys think of the last? What do you guys think of the last episode we done?
I think the last episode was good, but because it was our first time, there's a lot of areas that we could have improved on. So this is a good chance for
I
us
think
to
we're a
actually...
lot more comfortable.
Yeah, definitely a lot more
Today's-
comfortable.
It's also an eye opener.
Mm.
I feel like you don't realize how many people disagree with you. You think like your beliefs are somewhat objectively correct,
Mm.
but there's a lot of people that think very differently.
Yeah, but the only people that would think differently are the ones that will comment. But people that agree with you, they
I
don't
know,
really
but
say much, yeah.
For example, do you want to get into it now?
We might as well go.
We're not put it the wife one where I said I would like my wife to work at home or not have a 9 to 5 with other males. That one, a lot more people disagreed than I thought they would.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
And what do you guys think of like the reception of, obviously we got negatives and we got positives? What do you guys do with the negative comments and everything that?
I think, look, as long as you truly believe what you say, the negative comments won't affect you. Because regardless, I stand by everything I said in that podcast. I don't take back a word of it. I could get 1 million hate comments tomorrow. And if I truly believe what I believe and I say it, as long as I stand firm on my belief and it's actually true, no amount of hate comments is going to make me take back what I say. Because as much as there's people that disagree with me, if I have a strong basis of my belief, if my belief, especially if it's backed by Islam or if it's backed by real life experience where this is something I've seen with my own eyes, I don't care who you are. I don't care what your comment is behind your anonymous TikTok account saying you're wrong. Who are you, with all due respect? You're not anyone important. You're not anyone that's lived through what I've been through or seen what I've seen. It has no bearing on how I feel. It has no impact on my beliefs. It's not going to change how I feel. It's not going to change what I think. Do you see what I'm saying? There's also a famous quote, and this is something that is very strong, I believe. And it says, none is hated more than he who speaks the truth. If you speak the truth, you always receive hate. That's just something that's standard. Everyone that speaks the truth gets hate, one way or another. You can't make everyone happy. So as long as you stick to what you believe, that's the most important thing, I think.
100%. I feel like if you're saying something that's not agreed upon within society, that's always going to happen anyway. But it's facts, isn't it?
Especially the way society is going now.
Yeah.
Normal things that were normal 20 years ago now is crazy. Wow, crazy. Like, bro, it's normal, man.
What was the quote you said last time?
Which
You
one?
said, weak men, strong men.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Strong men create easy times create weak men create hard times, and hard times create strong men, and the cycle repeats.
And literally point proven of the TikToks that we've been posting.
Which
So,
part do you think we're in right now?
We did have an argument over this last time. I
Yeah.
think we're in the weak men create hard times stage, and we're shifting over to
Hard times
create strong men.
Yeah.
Like, I'm seeing a huge shift. And I've seen people on social media clock this. I saw a video today of a guy saying everyone now is on this gym thing and on this self-improvement thing. Like everyone's doing self-betterment. People are playing. The guy was talking about, man, I'm getting into sports like paddle and tennis
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
squash and these things. Like, it's mad. Everyone's on a self-improvement thing, and I really like the movement, bro. It's good,
But then,
man.
do you think that's just because that's the field we're in, so we're seeing it more now?
Yeah,
Or do you think it's actually the generation sort of
Partly.
realizing?
partly, yeah. I think people our age, in our demographic, are waking up and they're sort of making that change. But then I think there's a whole different side that we're not exposed to.
Yeah.
The thing is, I was
Excuse
gonna
me,
say about the
alhamdulillah.
video, yeah, the people's thoughts. So a lot of women, you're always gonna get the women saying, "Oh, women should work this, that." Yeah, cool, I understand. The feminists in the comments. That one was very predictable. What I didn't expect is men saying, "Oh, it's okay for my wife to work." Where is your jealousy? What, you want your wife to just be around men 24/7? I don't know what's going on there. You know what I'm saying? That one really surprised me. I thought, cool, you're gonna get a lot of women saying this, that. Feminists jumping on my view. But when I see a lot of men disagree with my view, it really shows where we're going. Does that make sense? Like,
It's not
bad.
only with that. It's also there was Islamic clips that we posted as well. People are contradicting and disagreeing with what we're putting out there, which is straight from the Quran or Hadiths. They're literally saying, "Nah, it's interpreted like this. It's interpreted." Just doesn't make sense. I can't lie. Doesn't make sense at all. But anyway, so for the new viewers that don't know who you guys are, just introduce Warzone Health if you can.
So Warzone Health is a brand that we created. We were all in uni together. We all met up in uni. After uni, we decided to get together, see what we had in common, and we were all on this self-improvement thing. And from self-improvement, we've realized a lot of people do lack the guidance and the community and the support around them, especially brotherhood, which is what we have. We have a very strong brotherhood, I would like to think. And we sort of just came together, started to fix our diet, fix our training, fix our life, just constantly keep improving. And we started documenting it, showing it to the people. And we received good reception from it. You would like to add
You
to
guys
it?
want to add?
Yeah, I think it's like you were saying, there was something missing
Mm.
around us. Like,
Oh.
that wasn't meant to happen. It's too much testosterone. I broke the mic. But listen, it's something where we saw a huge gap and something missing. So initially, if you lot don't know, our mission was to bring back masculinity. That was how this all started, because we saw a lack of masculinity around us. Men not behaving like men, behaving like women instead. And then the opposite is also true, where you have women that are ultra masculine. It's like, we saw that as something wrong, and it's a problem that we could potentially solve bit by bit. So what we done, we started documenting what we do and tried to spread a positive message. And yeah, like he said, the reception we got was very good. It's like people yearn for a figure to look up to almost. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
It's
but
crazy how like we started realizing how many people lack the guidance.
yeah, spot on.
Yeah.
Like, there's not enough people spreading this message in the world. And now you're seeing a bit more improvement. But when we first started off, we saw like there was something missing. There was not enough role models. Not to say that we're role models, because we don't like to think of ourselves that way, but ultimately there are people that look up to us and like what we do and try and take from what we do and replicate what we do. But ultimately we saw a lack of masculinity in the world, and we thought we might as well build a platform and try and bring some of it back. But yeah, that's the overall message. Yeah.
So you mentioned masculinity and everything. Just for the viewers, just explain, like, give me top 3 things maybe that makes a man masculine. What about masculinity can you guys elaborate on?
I think one of the qualities that a masculine man should have, is accountability. If you're a man that takes responsibility for whatever is happening in your life, you will go very far because you will take action. Whereas if you're someone that doesn't have accountability and you blame everything and everyone but yourself, there's not much action being taken. Does that make sense? So, for example, your physique, you're going to blame it on the food that's in the house. You're going to blame it on your environment. You're going to blame it on all the junk food that's in the stores, supermarkets nowadays. So then now you've taken the blame out from yourself and you've placed it on something else. So now that something else is in control of your whatever situation you're in, and then you end up doing nothing. So if you're a masculine man, you're someone that takes accountability, takes responsibility for everything that's happening in his life, and then once you understand all your problems, you can take action. That's one of them.
Could do one each.
Another one would be. Put me on the spot now. You go.
I think being open to taking on challenges and not shying away from difficulty is a huge one. Anyone in history that has ever achieved something in the masculine sphere has always gone through hardship. And they say hardship makes a stronger man. I think the more hardship you go through, the more experiences you go through, the more you can relate to people, the more you can lead, the more you can take charge. It's a net positive. Like there's no negatives that come from enduring through hardship and coming out the other side. You'll always come out stronger. It's like what they say, that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Do you see what I'm saying? The more hardship you go through, the better man you will be. And I think a lot of people now are scared to go through hardship. There's fear, like, I don't want to do this difficult thing because, I don't know, maybe they're scared of failure, maybe they're scared of people looking at them some sort of way. Maybe they're just scared of themselves. They think they won't achieve that thing. But I'm telling you, failure is better than not trying. It's better that you attempt something and you fail and you learn and you get experience from that thing so that when you now try to tackle it again, you go in with some notes prepared. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you have some pre-existing knowledge on how to take on the matter. But then someone that doesn't try at all comes out with, or doesn't even go into the matter, when it comes to them actually having to tackle that problem, they can't. So it's better to prepare in advance and go into challenges and try to tackle them head on, regardless of failure, regardless of the outcome.
See them as an opportunity to learn and grow.
Yeah.
So whenever you're faced with hardship, cool. Have a mindset of, this is an opportunity for me to become a better person, to go through that experience. So now I've got more skills. Does that make sense?
Even if it's by just 1%, you're still a better man than you were yesterday.
I think one other trait for a masculine man is to be selfless. I think you have to understand, as a man, you're put in this world or this life to protect and provide. And I think that's what men are supposed to do and what men are best at doing. So to be selfless, for example, for with your family, with your kids, with your wife, with your parents, you have to put your own needs aside for the needs of other people. And I think that is one of the most masculine traits that I think a man needs in this, especially in this society now.
Good. But I was waiting for someone to mention testosterone. So you guys don't think testosterone contributes to masculinity or anything like that, or no?
Testosterone is something that will help you become that masculine man. Does that make sense? So you need testosterone for you to provide, for you to protect. Does that make sense? So it's like a boost. The higher testosterone you have, the easier.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
It's like that quote about money. Money doesn't make a man, it just amplifies him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's similar with testosterone. It's like it just boosts what you actually are.
Okay. So what's, speaking about testosterone, what's like, because a lot of people speak about testosterone acting like they know all about it, they done research on it and whatever, but it's not always, there's a lot of fake information around. So there's a lot of misconception about what testosterone actually is and how you can build on it. So if you guys can give me some sort of like deeper analysis into like what are the myths and what is actually facts about testosterone.
I think one of the biggest myths about testosterone is that it is just genetic. Like a lot of people will complain and say they'll blame genetics, or they'll see someone with a good physique and say, oh, he's only got that physique because he's got very good genetics. No, he got that physique. Maybe he's got above average genetics, who knows? But he's also put in 10 times the work you have. He's stayed persistent. He's eating clean. He's gone to the gym every day. He's still showed up. He's still put in the work. Genetics, as much as they're important, stop using that as an excuse and shifting the blame off yourself for not working as hard as him and just blaming genetics. One, it's unfair on the guy because now you're taking away from his hard work and just attributing everything to genetics. And two, it's relieving the blame of yourself. It's like what we were saying about accountability. Take some accountability, bro. It's not just genetics. It's about hard work as well. You see what I'm saying? Talent, as much as talent is important, hard work is more important because hard work always beats talent. And that's the bottom line. And I think blaming it purely on your genetics and I've got low test, I can't put on muscle as easily. Work harder. It's very simple.
Because
something you can't control.
Yeah, what's the other option?
Literally,
just not do it.
What are you going to do? Sit in bed and do nothing? Or get up and work just as hard and achieve the same results regardless of your genetic predisposition. It's very simple.
So, so do you guys think mindset and having the right attitude towards life is more important than testosterone?
Agreed. Because, sorry to cut you off, but because we've all seen men outside, like they're big, strong. It's guaranteed they've got high testosterone. But But we've seen situations where when it needed to get there, they didn't show up. So testosterone can only get you so far. The mindset is very, very important. You need heart, you need dedication, you need discipline. And that all comes from mindset, not testosterone.
The two tie very closely together, though. You can't have one without the other.
Like if you have a good mindset, that will result in you having high testosterone. Because you win in life, for example. With a mindset that's strong, you can go through experiences, you can tackle problems, and then once you get to the other side and you win those experiences, you've now got high testosterone. Part of increasing your testosterone is actually winning in life, and you do that by having a strong mindset. You can't have a poor mindset and actually win in life. Does that make sense?
So what about the guys that have like, let's say, poor mindset or mental blocks? So they're just in a phase of life where they can't get past something, or there's a lot of struggle in their mind or anything like that. What's some advice that you guys would give them to like get over that or overcome it?
Taking action.
Yeah.
I think stop making excuses, stop complaining, just take action. The minute you start taking action and you start seeing results over the course of a week, 2 weeks, it doesn't take long to start seeing even the smallest results. That is going to now motivate you and remove that mind block or mental barrier in your head. And when you start seeing results, it pushes you to work even harder. Like, you're not going to get big from going to the gym once. It's common sense. Like, that's if you do that, then you have no brain. Sorry to say. But if you keep going for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you start seeing the results, that's going to drive you to now perform even better. It's like these little wins, these small bursts of delayed gratification. You get this little dopamine from it. And then constantly, you keep building on that. And this can be applied to anything, not just the gym. This can be applied to a business, for example. You're not going to get a sale on the first day. Maybe you won't. But over enough time, you're going to build traction. You're going to build a following. You're going to build a loyal customer base. And it's going to keep continuing like that.
Do you guys have like any personal, like if you guys can give us like some sort of example of when you guys had a mental block or you had to overcome your mindset at a time or anything like that?
Yeah, one I can give you is when I was probably over 110 kg, probably 40% body fat, and my day-to-day life consisted of 10 plus hours of gaming, playing Fortnite, and eating junk food, wasting a lot of time, doom scrolling, Netflix, all the things that don't actually improve your life in any way of shape or form. And I had that mindset of, cool, I'm a loser. I'm going to be a loser for the rest of my life. Anything I try flops. At the time, whenever I try to lose weight, I'll try for 1-2 weeks or even a few days, and I won't see results that will affect my mind, and I'll think, oh, cool, all right, cool. Maybe something wrong with me. Maybe it's my genetics. I live in a house where there's only junk food. So I was blaming a lot of the things that are happening to me to the environment and everything around me but me. Does that make sense? So eventually one day I woke up, I just decided to blame myself for everything that's happening to me. Cool, this is going on in my life because I actually spend 10 hours gaming. Does that make sense? So I took accountability and responsibility, and I started taking action, like Yasin said. That's very important. And take it slow. Accumulate small wins, because that goes a long way. Eventually, the more wins you accumulate, the more momentum you build, the bigger you start winning. Does that make sense? And it applies across all areas of life. So take step by step. For example, I was out of shape. I decided to be in shape, and I did that by implementing a fast in the morning so that I can consume less calories overall. Then I added more protein. Then I started lifting weights. Then I started adding walks. So bit by bit, and then eventually becomes a lifestyle. And then the lifestyle results in you having a better physique and applies across all life. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I think for me, a mental block was during high school. For me, it was a very big thing where I was out of shape, insecure, didn't know how to socialize, didn't have really a life outside of school. It would just be school, go home, didn't know how to play any sports. We used to have this cage, everyone's always playing football. I don't know how to play football. Till now, I don't know how to play football, but let's not talk about that. But yeah, so that was, at that time, I just thought, like, why is this happening to me? Why am I fat? Why can't I play sports? I can't even learn how to play sports. It's going to take too long, blah, blah, blah. I think once I took the first step, like you were saying, take it step by step, I decided to fix my weight. Then when I done that, I solved one problem. Then once I realized I can solve a problem, I decided to solve the next problem. Next one. And I think it's just a chain reaction. When you go from one thing to another, solving, you just get this little burst of dopamine and stuff like that. Then you just realize you just want to...
It's like an upward spiral, isn't it?
Yeah, and you just want to keep self-improving.
The opposite is also true. There is downward spirals where one problem that you leave will now result in another problem, and that will result in another problem. And very quickly, you'll find yourself 10 steps behind than where you were before. And it's just constantly problems. And the more you shy away from these problems and neglect them, it's like what we were saying at the start, tackling the problems. The less you tackle the problems, the more problems you get, and the deeper it sets you. And you end up in this rabbit hole of, be it depression, be it out of shape, financial struggle, problems building relationships with other people, friends, family, regardless what it is. You end up in this pit of, all these things.
Agreed.
So one thing you guys mentioned is, or a key theme you guys keep on bringing up is consistency, persistence, being able to continue, like, no matter what, just fighting through it. So what, is that like a key thing for you to have in the mindset every single time?
100%. I think any great achievement requires time and effort and consistency. I can't think of something that is good to have that won't take time and consistency. For example, a good physique, a good business. All these things have problems on the way. It takes time to get somewhere, development, all of that. It requires a lot of time, and then that requires a good mindset, and like you were saying, persistence. So without persistence, you won't go very far. That is, I think, one of the most important qualities and attributes as a man you can develop. Be persistent, be consistent, even when you don't see results. With some things, it takes time to see results. One of them is content creation, for example. The first 2-3 months is very difficult to get those views, especially because you don't understand the algorithm. But then that's when persistence and consistency and discipline will push you through those 2-3 months until you eventually see some sort of results, and now you understand how the algorithm works, and then now you're posting content that is consistently viral. So yeah.
I think what you were saying about how the best things that you achieve are very difficult, I think they are good because they're difficult to get. If it was easy and everyone had it, it wouldn't have any value attached to it. So the guy that is rich and has the yacht and has the supercars and has all this money, the reason that is such an admired thing now is because of its difficulty. If everyone was rich, that yacht would be nothing special. The Lamborghini that he drives would be nothing special because it's so difficult to obtain. And I promise you, I'm telling you not now, a lot of people will look at that person and think, oh, he's got life so easy, he's got all this money and he's got all this thing. I promise you, 1% of his stress and his problems and the trouble that he had to go through to get to his position is more than all the stress you've got combined throughout your whole life. Like, there's a reason he's in this position, because he's had all these problems and he's tackled it well, which is why only a small percent get to that stage in the first place. People need to stop taking away from the stress and the hassle that these rich people go through, because they're in a position because they went through all that hard work. Yeah.
I think persistence is like a filter. It filters out the weak from the strong. So it's actually, like you said, it's harder to be persistent than to... Because, for example, if you're motivated one day and you go to the gym, everyone, when they're motivated, it's easy to go to the gym. Like, it's not hard. I feel motivated when we go to the gym. But then after a week, you lose that motivation and now you're like, oh, I can't be bothered to go to the gym. A lot of people will now stop being persistent. But a person now that carries on going to the gym, regardless of how he feels, is now become persistent and now filtered himself away from all these weak people.
Yeah, that's when dedication takes over. 100%. So, okay, let's say you don't have persistence, because a lot of men nowadays, they base everything based on their emotions and how they feel. Would you think a man should, remove certain emotions when it comes to like something that they need to do or anything like that? Or do you think emotions should be taken in by a man? Like, let's say right now, because feminine emotions come into a lot of like men's lifestyles nowadays, innit? So what's your guys' like tips how to get rid of those emotions and focus on certain other emotions? Or do you think emotions should just be scrapped immediately from a man?
We were speaking about this yesterday, where there's a difference between emotional vulnerability and being emotionally aware. Being emotionally aware is, I think, a man should be emotionally aware because he needs to understand what emotions he's feeling and how they can affect him. But then when you're emotionally vulnerable, It's when you give in to your emotions. And that's where the problem is. I think a lot of men nowadays give in to their emotions. That's why society isn't functioning the way it is. That's it might sound a bit controversial,
I
but
think you should see emotion as energy as well. For example, you're going through some tough times. You're probably feeling a little bit sad right now. You should see that as energy. How can I convert this energy that I've got from being sad into something that's productive? That's a proactive mindset that you should have, and it's going to help you excel in life. Whereas if you're someone that's emotionally vulnerable and you are now driven by your emotions, if you're sad, you're not going to do much. So learn to understand what emotional state you're in, what emotions you're going through, and learn to channel that into something productive. Does that make sense? And yeah, like you were saying about men nowadays, I think they are too how do I say, they are controlled by their mind. So any of their actions are driven by how they feel in the moment. For example, they didn't go to the gym because they don't feel like going to the gym, but you know you're supposed to go to the gym. So you are now controlled by your mind. But your mind can be a very powerful thing, especially if you learn how to use it. So learn to use it into the right things, and you're going to go very, very, very far in life.
I want to highlight a very important thing he said. It's either your emotions control you or you control your emotions. The first one is detrimental. The second one is probably going to be the biggest catalyst to achieving your goals. If you can have absolute control over your emotions and not let it affect what you have to do, if anything, use it as fuel to engage in what you have to do, that will definitely boost your route to wherever you want to get to, whether it be being successful in terms of business, whether it be getting that amazing physique, whether it be achieving your goals, traveling the world, whatever it might be. But the opposite is also true. Again, if you sit there and let your emotions control you, when you're angry, you're going to make a stupid decision. When you're overly happy, you're going to make promises you can't keep. When you're sad, you're going to sit there and wallow in your pity and just do nothing with your life. You need to be in control of your emotions at all times. Emotions are very good. I think having a lack of emotion is very bad, or it's just as bad as letting your emotions control you. I think the best sort of middle ground is having emotions, feeling all the emotions, and having complete control over them. I think that's the best way to live your life.
And do you know, I would like to add one thing. Well, do you know what's so crazy? Two people can feel the same thing, but they'll have two different outcomes.
Of course.
Like you were saying, someone could feel sad and decide not to go to the gym. But another person, if they control their emotions, that sadness makes them go to the gym.
Yeah, like they're heartbroken.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like the
something
people
like
that
that.
go
Yeah,
gym
yeah,
after they
yeah.
get heartbroken and just come out absolute
Yeah.
monsters. See, it's the same
The
emotion.
same emotion, yeah. Different outcome.
Complete different outcomes. Yeah, man.
So what about emotions you can't control? Because we touched on depression last time. That's an emotion that you can't control, sort of. It just comes, and then the way that you deal with it, obviously, is how you can sort of get over it. But it's one emotion that really and truly you can't, like even anxiety as well, getting anxiety attacks or panic attacks or whatever. Would you guys think is a way to deal with that? Because those sort of emotions just come quickly, and then you have to deal with it at the moment.
I think the first thing, I just want to say, people that feel depressed or anxiety think they're the only ones feeling it, and it's not okay to feel it, or it's not normal to feel it. Everyone feels depression and anxiety. That's one thing everyone has to understand. You're not alone. What you're feeling, everyone else is also feeling. That's one thing people, I think, need to understand, because they put themselves in this little scenario where,
They're the only ones
I'm the only ones,
Yeah.
like, I don't know why I feel like this. It's normal to feel like that. I think it's a normal, I think it's your body telling you something.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It's your body telling you something. So let's say you're going through depression, you're going through something sad. Instead of thinking, cool, I'm depressed, I have a mental illness where I need pills to recover from, think, what is my body trying to tell me? I'm depressed because I have this problem in my life currently. How do I tackle that problem? Is it something I can tackle and actually solve? Or is it something I'm not in control of? I think sitting down, understanding your emotions and what they're trying to tell you, and then formulating a plan is the best mindset you can have. And kind of attach emotions to some sort of action. So if you're going through a period of time where you're just angry, pissed off all the time, what I like to do when I'm angry is I like to hit the heavy bag. That helps me calm down, relax, and actually think better. Instead of sitting angry at home and just looking at the floor, I'm angry. Cool. Let me go to the gym, let me hit the bag, see how I feel. What is actually making me angry? Look at that problem. Can I solve it? What can I do about it? So, like he said, it's a very good point. Your body's telling you something when you're going through an emotion. And learning to understand and channel that energy, like I was saying before, will take you very far.
Cool. So you mentioned hitting the bag. Really quickly, we're gonna go around the room. Everyone say what martial arts or fighting they specialize in. I'll start wrestling for a couple of years. Helped a lot during school. Helps a lot now as well. And I can't lie, just very, very. I'll recommend it every single time. I feel like it's the number one combat sport. You might disagree, but I think it's number one in terms
It's
of
definitely
just-
up there. I wouldn't say number one, but
It's number one. So
it's up there.
it's very important. Being able to like stand your ground and be able to just flip a guy over at will whenever you want, important. Cool, you could throw a few bangs or whatnot, but being able to literally lift a man whenever you want, do what you need to do and get it over and done with, finished, innit? But
I
that's
think
mad.
I think that's very subjective, but at the end of the day, there's a middle ground, which I think is be as capable as possible. Because, for example, boxing is very situational. There's, I think, some situations where boxing will do a lot, is a lot more effective than wrestling. For example, if you're facing 3-4 guys, you don't want to be wrestling on the floor with one guy while the other guys are kicking your head.
Bro, you don't need to wrestle with
I
them. You
want
just
to-
need to take them down. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, but if you're taking
Yeah,
one
but
down, now you're focusing on one. Does that make sense? Let's say you single leg one of them. So what do you think the other two guys are
do
gonna
you know
watch
how
you?
quick it is? It's as quick as throwing a bang, bro.
Nah,
You
But
lift
wrestling,
down,
the
tie
bag is
full.
you're
Finish.
tied up with the opponent when you're wrestling him. Because what if he grabs onto you and holds on?
That's
Yeah.
the point. You can't grab onto a wrestler and think you're just gonna hold on.
And if-
From
No,
one,
but
any grab
even
that
if
he has,
even if you
there's
drop
a
him,
few people.
what if he grabs your hair? Bear in mind, there's no rules in a street fight. What if he
Mm-hmm.
grabs your hair now? What if he just holds onto your clothes and like pulls you down with him? Now you're tied up to the guy.
flip it.
He's
And
got 3 mates.
and-
Also, he might have a weapon.
Exactly.
Now you're now in close proximity to him. I can throw a punch from a meter away and still land it. I can't take someone down from a meter away. I have to be in physical contact with him. Like my body has to be there because it's very, very intimate. You see what I'm saying?
And
If he has
your
a knife
vision
now-
and your vision is effective because now wrestling is more of a close combat sport now. It's close distance. So let's say you're next to him and you're trying to take him down. Your vision is a bit. You can't really see what the other 3 guys are doing. Whereas if you keep your distance with boxing, cool, we've got one here, one here, one here. Let me bang this guy, then bang the other guy.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it's-
But
it's-
then the situation, that goes back to my point, the situations where wrestling is a lot better. If someone comes from behind and he grabs you, I can't like your boxing's not helping you there. I can't tell him, put me down, let me turn around and fight. No, he's going to take me to the floor. That's when your knowledge will come in handy. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so I
but-
think that's why you should be capable in all of them. I used to think that boxing overall is better, but I've changed my opinion. I think being capable in all of them will always is always more effective than being good at one.
What do you
Because the
specialise in?
situations where boxing will help you a lot more than wrestling would, there's also vice versa.
So your specialty is boxing, yeah?
Yeah, I specialize in boxing.
How long have you been doing it for?
Coming up to 3 years now. Yeah.
No problem. When is the first fight?
That's a very good question. I do want to compete eventually. Just thing is right now, the business, like the brothers over here, we spend a lot of time in the business. Got other things in my life, but eventually, because when you want to sign up for a fight, you need to commit. Does that make
Yeah,
sense? You
yeah.
can't really go half-hearted. You
half-hearted,
need to
yeah.
put in time. Like we're talking 2-3 hours a day. Especially, I don't want to lose. I'll probably put in 5-6 hours a day. Even if you think that's unhealthy. But
Fight
that's me.
camp and everything. as
I need
well.
to make sure I'm
Yeah,
doing
when
everything
he
I can.
starts
to-
something, he
I need
goes
to
all
put in
yeah.
time,
trust me.
yeah. So I don't want to do anything half-hearted. So eventually I will. It is something I do want to put under my belt. Especially I think it would be a cool story to tell my kids. Like your dad's been in the ring, and it'll probably motivate them to go in the ring as well. But yeah, I think training martial arts is one of the best things anyone can do. The skills you develop are so transferable in all life scenarios and situations. The confidence you develop, the mentality, the hard work, the discipline. These are skills that are so valuable. And yes, you can learn some of the skills from going to the gym, but you never learn how tough it is to be punched in the face from lifting a weight. Does that make sense? Being banged in the face is something that not many people go through, but I think they should. Does that make sense?
Another skill you learn is dealing with confrontation and being under the threat of violence. Even if it's under a controlled environment like sparring, where there's a referee and there's a coach that can stop it at any second, where obviously you won't get too hurt, that is still preparing you better than lifting weights. Because lifting weights, you're sitting there on a bench just pushing metal. Like it's it is difficult. Obviously, I'm not taking away from the difficulty of gym, but in terms of mentally, you're not prepared to deal with confrontation now. You might build all these big muscles, but you won't know how to de-escalate a situation. You won't be confident as much because as much as you can go gym, there's always someone bigger than you. There's always someone that knows how to fight. There's guys that are heavy, like heavyweights, gym goers, getting smacked up by welterweight boxers, bro. Like fighting is not a joke, and it's not an easy skill to learn. And being able to deal with confrontation and not being a stranger to fist fights and getting punched in the face, like he was saying, is very important. I think you need to know these skills, and you need to know how to deal with it, and you need to know, okay, he's hit me in the face now. Rather than being startled and closing my eyes up like most people would do that are not trained, you're now focusing on the enemy. Put your guard up, take a step back, assess the range, and then see what to do from there. Like you're planning ahead. Yeah, it's like chess, bro. Someone that's never been punched in the face gets punched in the face. They won't know what to do. They'll be startled. They're like, what do I do now? Like, I've been hit. What's the next move, sort of thing?
So everyone needs to get banged in their face once.
I think so. And do you know something very interesting? Yeah, a lot of people sign up to our boxing gym and they'll only go to the pad session or the bag session or the physical conditioning. So with my gym, 40, 50 man will turn up for the bags class. Sparring comes, there's about 5 man. Yeah. Genuinely, rarely have people turn up to sparring. Does that make sense? So turn up to the sparring, that's where you learn the most. You want to be punched in the face. Yes, cool, you can throw a bang. But when you're in there and the bang is coming towards you, you need to learn how to react to that. Because your body is programmed to kind of run away from the bang, like look away. That's how your body's just built. And you develop that habit of not looking away by being in the ring. You can't punch a bag a million times and learn how to...
The bag doesn't hit back.
Yeah, the bag will never hit you back. So put yourself in that situation where something's coming towards you. And then, you can learn and develop.
It does teach you a lot about yourself. Like, sparring makes you realize a lot of things about yourself. You start seeing if you've got the heart, if you don't have the heart, if you're going to carry on, if you're not going to carry on. So I think that's one thing sparring does do for you.
What do you say to the people that will say striking to the face is haram? Because obviously it is. What's like see, I'm putting you a lot on the spot, but what's the sort of balance you can come to where you can still train in a way that prepares you for confrontation in real life while still not falling into sin by striking to the face?
I think it is a very difficult question, and I don't want to speak from an Islamic perspective because I'm not knowledgeable in that field. I would say don't go and spar your friend with like 10-ounce gloves, go hard, go strike them to the face, stuff like that. When you spar as if you're trying to learn. Like, put yourself in a scenario where, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, rather than, all right, let's go all out, see who can win, see who can get knocked out first. I think controlled sparring, but again...
So like touch sparring, body sparring.
Body sparring, yes, I think you can learn a lot from body sparring. It won't be anywhere near actual sparring, but you can learn a lot of skills like your distance management, your counters, how to open up the body. You can learn a lot from body sparring. I think if you don't want to do face sparring, and again, you shouldn't because it is haram, what you can do, I don't know how permissible this is, but is do tech sparring. So practice your guard. So you know the bang is coming and you're not really striking the head, you're striking his gloves. Does that make sense? So he's got, now that will help you learn how to have your guard. A lot of people, they'll look away when a bang is coming because they don't put trust into their guard. So have your guard up and then have your partner throw some bangs to your guard. That will teach you to be comfortable with punches coming your way.
I feel like it's all about intention as well. So if you're going into a sparring and you're going there with ill intentions of just knocking out the guy, then I don't think that's Islamically like permissible. And obviously, I don't know, I'm not a scholar, but I feel like it's all about intent. Like a lot of Islamic rulings is based off intention. So I feel like maybe if you're going into sparring and you're thinking about knocking out the guy or whatever, it's not really going to help.
I think in situations like this, it's best to avoid it. If something's been explicitly forbidden for us, it's best to just leave it completely. There's no point risking falling into sin just for your own desires. Sort of.
I think in terms of you are forgetting there's a whole other side to sparring. You can spar wrestling, BJJ.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That also does put you in a position of pressure where you do have to
If
learn.
anything, it's advised. The
Yeah.
wrestling is sunnah. It's
So
advised to do.
there is also that to do. I think wrestling and sparring, we've done it a lot. It's very fun, very fun.
What do you two specialize in?
I've done boxing and wrestling more than the other combat sports. So I think boxing and wrestling.
I've done mixed martial arts, but I didn't do the like what you see now mixed martial arts. I've done more traditional mixed martial arts. So I was doing. So my instructor was South Korean Special Forces. He taught me a lot. So I was there for I think 6 years, 5 years, 6 years maybe, and it was like a proper traditional MMA where you have the gi, you have a belt ranking system, got up to like second dan black belt, and they teach you everything. So from boxing, kickboxing, grappling, jiu-jitsu, judo, even to the point of weapons training. So you train with a sword, you train with a knife, bow staff, nunchucks, all these things. So gymnastics as well, like explosive movements and all that sort of stuff. So I think, yeah, it's very diverse training. Obviously, like Anas was saying, it's better to conquer all realms. So I think that was very good. Train everything. So now I know how to defend against a knife somewhat. If someone was to come stab me, I know how to use a pair of nunchucks. I don't know if I ever need to use it.
Jackie Chan.
Trust me, bro. Like it's a skill that I like having under my belt at the end of the day. Even if I'm never going to use it, it's just something good to know. But yeah.
And don't let the amount of time that people train deter you from training, because a lot of people think that you need 6-7 years to be very good at something. But some people put in 6-7 years, but maybe 1-2 sessions a week. You can actually learn the skill in a lot shorter time. For example, when I started boxing, I went in hard. Does that make sense? For some people, that's 6-7 years that I put in 2 years. I was going every single day for a few months, and I'm putting in 2 hours a day. You can learn a lot. You can get very good. So it's not about the years you put in. It's more of how many hours you've put in overall. Someone might put in 7 years, but maybe 50 hours, whereas someone might put 1 year and just triple the amount of hours. So when you ask people how long you've been doing this, they say 10 years. Yeah, cool, he's done 10 years, but what he's learned in 10 years, maybe you can do it in 1-2 years, depending on how many hours you put in. So don't let that deter you or put you away from walking to a gym because you think, oh, that's too much time. Get in there, train and learn how to fight, and it's gonna help you massively in life.
And also, sorry to cut you, the beginning part of your training, you will grow the fastest. Like the first few months, and all of you can testify to this. When you walk into the gym, like the difference between day 0 or day 1 and 3 months, you'll learn 10 times more than between 3 months and 6 months, because you're going in there without a clue, and a lot of the stuff that you learn are very easy. Like these little tips and tricks that you might learn on your form or keeping your guard up or how to strike, those things you can learn very quickly. It's not difficult to pick up. So those first couple months of training, you will learn so much compared to someone that has been training for 5 years, and then those 3 months after they've hit the 5-year mark, they won't learn much because they've already learned all the basics and they're just working on the fundamentals. But when you go in there fresh start, you can learn so much in the first couple months of your training. Like
I feel like if you perfect the basics, because there's people that are still like wrestling right now. There's people that have wrestled for years, but they don't know the basics. If you perfect the basics from the beginning, I promise you'll be better than most man right now.
Especially in wrestling. Yeah. Especially in wrestling.
Also, another thing, don't be put off by, you think, oh, just because people can fight, they're going to be mean and angry and scary. No, it's the complete opposite. Watch, just try it for yourself. Walk into a boxing or wrestling gym, you're going to see you're going to be welcomed. People want you to train with them. They like that competitive environment. They want more people to join them. I used to get excited when people are joining because they're cool. Now I can spar someone else. He might have something like a style that I've never seen before. Then I can improve, and then we can keep each other accountable, make some friends. Get in the gym. It's not scary. It's not what you think it is. That's what I thought when I first started. The way I started is I was in Tempin punching a baggie, and some guy thought, "Ah, cool, you got some power in you. You should join a boxing gym." Next week I joined because I actually gave him my word, and I'm a man of my word, so I actually joined. I walk in there, and my instructor is Ukrainian. Guy looks scary, but he's the nicest guy in the world. He's scary. He doesn't speak much, but he's nice, and he respects people that want to train and improve themselves. So walking to the gym, it's not what you think it is. A lot of people are scared. Everyone's just big and no, they're not. If I'm gonna get smoked, that's not what happens. Walk in, take it slow, learn slowly, do your training, put in the hours, and yeah.
There's also an element of empathy. No one was born the best fighter in the world. No UFC champion was born as a UFC champion. So when these experienced people that are in the gym that, like he's saying, look scary and big and strong and tough, they empathize with you because they were once in your shoes. They once joined the gym with no previous experience and walked in day one. They know exactly how you feel, that scared feeling or that feeling of being judged by not punching correctly, stuff like this. And they'll be more open to teaching you than most people because they know exactly how you feel and they want you to grow and they want you to be a fighter because the love amongst fighters is crazy.
Respect
Bro.
there. They know
There's,
what it
yeah,
takes.
massive respect, bro. They know the dedication it takes to walk into a gym and actually take that first step and take action. And they've been there, so they can relate to you and they'll help you out more.
And keep
That's what I'm
your
saying.
keep your arrogance at home. When you walk into a fighting gym, there's gonna be people that are a lot more experienced than you. You should see that as opportunity to learn and grow. If someone comes up to you and says, this is wrong, don't take it as, bro, you're telling me what to do or you don't know what you're doing or I'll smoke you. Nah, he's put in more hours than you have. So listen to him and actually implement it into your training. So when I'm training with an Olympic champion and he's coming up to me, he's telling me you're doing this wrong, I'm not going to be like, yo, no, bro, don't tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing. Nah. Be like, all right, cool. Take in the advice, implement that, and you'll see you go very, very far. Whereas if you're someone that's arrogant, not taking advice, you're not going to grow much. You're not going to grow as fast as someone that listens to the people that are more experienced than him.
Life's too short to learn everything by yourself. So take from people that have already done the hard work, made the mistakes, and taken a long route to achieving what you want to achieve, and just take their advice. They know the shortcuts. They know the mistakes you're going to be prone to make as a beginner, and they know the easiest ways to grow. So just learn from other people. That's the best way to learn.
And you'll be surprised. Martial arts gym doesn't have much ego in there. Everyone's humble.
Yeah.
Like they control their ego rather than their ego controlling them.
But sometimes I can't like...
You get that one person.
Like you get that, for example, coach will put you with someone new and you're doing pads with him and you're saying, oh, bro, like, do this.
Yeah.
Use your hips more. Twist the punches. And then you see him not implement the advice and he's doing it on purpose as if... Because I can't tell him what to do.
Yeah.
But my intention is not to tell you what to do or I'm more experienced than you. I actually want you to learn and grow and become a better fighter.
But I think they'll soon realize that.
They do, and they realize when they actually jump in the ring. If they ever do, does that make sense?
But that's the thing, they learn the hard way. So it's like I was saying, you take from people that are more experienced than you and you won't have to go through that long process of learning. You just shortcut.
Yeah,
You know
there was some guys, they'll have bare arrogance and ego when it comes to pads. And then the next day sparring, after the sparring, you see they're a lot more open to advice. Because now you sparred them, feel like, okay, actually, maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like sparring the first time especially humbles you so much. You think you're a fighter until you're in there and you're getting banged in the face, bro. So yeah.
Moving on though from fighting, you mentioned you want to install fighting into your children and everything like that. What other things would you want to like teach your children from young?
Religion, 100%. Having strong beliefs, and this is something I lack in, and I am working every day on it. Is knowledge. I think knowledge is so important. Take time to teach your children as much knowledge as possible, especially in Islam. Islam is a way of life, and if you implement that in your lifestyle, you're gonna have a very good life. I can promise you, guarantee you that. If you implement everything If you implement everything in Islam, your life will improve. For example, don't drink, don't smoke, be disciplined, pray 5 times a day. All these things develop skills that you need in other areas of life. For example, the discipline of praying 5 times a day, you develop that discipline that you can apply now in your business. Even when you're not making many sales, you still need to carry on with the content, carry on with the work and putting out just work. Does that make sense? So yeah, I think religion is something that should be instilled in children as soon as possible and teach them as much knowledge. Get them into Quran school, get them to learn the Quran and the interpretation and tafsir of Quran, not just learning Quran. All these things are very important, and the younger you implement it, the better your life when you're a teenager and you're an adult.
One thing people fail to realize is kids are very easily impressionable and they're very easily influenced, and they will be influenced by someone. So it's either you do the influencing and you raise them with the morals you want them to be raised with and you instill your values in them, or their friends will, or the school system will, or the government will, or social media will, or someone they look up to in the social space will. What's better? Who do you trust more? that random guy on social media that you don't know what he really believes, you don't know the subliminal messages he's putting out in his tweets and on his videos on YouTube, or your values that you've been raised upon. At the end of the day, it's your kid. You should be the one that's putting all your values into him. And one thing that's very important, it's not exactly a characteristic that I would want to implement in my kids, but it's more of a way of life. So I watched this documentary years ago, and I'll never forget this. I'm pretty sure it was Rio Ferdinand, and I was watching a thing on how he treats his children, and he was saying there's no point telling them what to do. You need to lead by example. So he doesn't tell them, go to the gym. This is the exact example he made. He doesn't tell them, you need to wake up early and go to the gym at 6 a.m. He would get up and do it. They'd see him walking out the house every day at 6 in the morning, going to the gym and training football and this and that. And from there, because you're leading by example, actions talk louder than words. When they're seeing you actually doing these things, they're more likely to follow in your footsteps than if you were to tell them, oh, you need to get up and train, but you're still in bed at 10 a.m., sorry.
No, it's true. It's
like,
true.
You need to lead by example. At the end of the day, you're a leader in your own household. You need to take the stern of the ship and lead the way. You're the driver, you're the pilot of your household. If you can't lead by example and you're leading from the back, what use is it? There's no one for your kids to look up to. And then what ends up happening is they can't look up to you. They will look up to someone, but it's not you. So now who are they looking up to? And that's a question you need to ask yourself, especially with the rise of social media and kids having access to social media from such a young age now. That's another thing. I'm going to heavily restrict what devices my children use and what sort of social media they're allowed to be on, because I'm telling you, you can get brainwashed so quickly on social media. It's very, very easy. But yeah, if they're not looking up to you, they're looking up to someone else. And again, like I said, what sort of values are they teaching them? Are they teaching them the correct values that align with yours, or something completely different that's been prescribed by the government or so on and so forth?
I was going to say, with the social media as well, nowadays what goes viral, it's not something you want. So, for example, the videos that get millions and millions of views are rappers half naked.
Thirst traps.
Women, thirst traps. It's not the self-improvement podcast. That's not getting millions and millions of views. So the agenda they're pushing out, you need to be very careful as a parent what your children are consuming. I think nowadays, because the parents are distracted by the social media themselves, they're not raising their kids the way they want to be raised. So you're spending all your time in social media and watching the news and whatever you're doing, and then your kid is also doing that. So the social media that he's consuming and indulging in is what's raising him, not you. Which is why I think, again, nowadays, if you walk through the streets, a lot of these people that are in the streets doing this stupidity that they shouldn't be doing, their parents did not teach them that. Their parents do not want them to do that stuff. But because they're influenced by their friends and the rappers they're constantly watching, they end up doing these things.
Let me ask you a question for everyone. If your parents were to see everything you've ever posted on social media, do you think they would feel some type of way? Do you think they'd be happy?
I think that.
What, as in ever?
No, as in like,
like recently.
as of late, yeah.
No,
I think
my
they'll
parents
they'll
would
be
proud,
they'll be happy.
Yeah.
100%.
they'll be happy.
because we provide
Think
value.
they'd be happy?
We're actually helping society.
Next time, before you lot think to post some sort of stupidity online, think, would I show this to my parents before I post it? And if the answer is no, you shouldn't be posting that stuff. Because you know deep down, you're not providing any benefit to society. You're not providing value. And even worse than that, you're providing the opposite of value. I don't know what the opposite of value is. You're
No value.
You're taking away from, it's not even no value. It's not even like
Damaging
it's
society.
a neutral. You're causing damage to society. It's not a good look. And as much as you can post it on social media, thousands of people will see it. Would you show it to the people that are closest to you? Would you show it to your kids? Would you show it to your wife? Would you show it to your parents? If the answer is no, you shouldn't be posting that. There's man out here dancing. I've said this last podcast and I'll say it again. Shaking their backside on social media. It's mad. You shouldn't be doing that stuff, bro. It's embarrassing.
100%.
Genuinely.
100%.
And hate me for it, dislike me for it. I don't care. I said what I said.
And what you post there might influence another, for example, Muslim brother to do what you do.
Because they're
might
seeing
see
you
that
getting
as-
the likes and the views.
Oh, he's getting views, he's doing that. Let me do that as well. Now,
It becomes a circle.
exactly.
Plague.
With what you're saying about the family, I think the one thing that I would install in my kids is making sure he's very family orientated, or he or she. Reason being is like stuff like that. You're conscious about what if they see me, what if that. Like you actually have someone to look up to, and they look up to you. So I think family is very important for the kids, which I think this generation lacks. This generation lacks family. They lack the parenthood. What else? Like if you have siblings, the brotherhood, the sisters around you. I think that's
Just spending time together.
yeah.
A lot of parents nowadays don't invest their time into their children.
But I've seen it a lot where the parents are extremely strict to their kids, and the kids start doing stuff behind their backs.
I think that's as bad as being too loose of a parent.
So what do you think the fine line is between both? Because you can be strict, but you can also be lenient. But
I think
how could you tell the difference?
having the right approach to it, being strict when you need to be strict, and being more of a friend. And I said this on live the other day when I was on live with Mehdi, and I was saying, from the young ages, you should be firm with your kids, like up to the ages of maybe 14 to 16. But once they hit post-pubescent ages, 16, 17, 18, they're growing, they're developing, they're adults now. You should treat them more like a friend. And that way, they're more open to come to you for advice, because realistically, when they're 10 years old, they don't really need advice on life, because what's their concerns? What they're going to eat in their lunchbox, if they've got sweets in their lunchbox, or comparing lunches with other kids. That's the biggest stress they have. But when they're growing 16, 17, now they're more exposed to things like their friends have started smoking weed now, or their friends have started drinking, or girls or boys, or for the female viewers, stuff like that. It's more serious problems that can actually affect how their character develops over the long term. So when you start treating them like a friend, they're more inclined to come to you when they have a problem, and it's easier to advise your kid at that stage when they see you as a peer rather than a dictator in the household. I think tough love is definitely necessary, don't get it wrong. If my kid was to do some stupidity, I'll be very harsh on them. But it's like the quote, respect your elders and have mercy on the youngers. Like, you need to be merciful to your kids and show compassion and show love to them. And you see this, even relating back to Islam, you see this, it's a repeating sort of theme in Islam where the elder generation would show love and compassion to the younger ones. But now you see it being warped a little bit, and the parents are just too harsh. And like I said, it can have the same effect as controlling households, the same effect as being too loose and not caring about your kids at all. It's the same outcome. You need to find the middle ground and stick with that.
I think you need authority, but at the same time, you need their trust. You need them to trust you. That's the thing. You have to find a balance between being authoritative, is that a word? Authoritative, and also being that person they can trust, they can go back to. Because if you're also like what you were saying, if you're just strict on them, they're not going to trust you. They're not going to come to you when they need to come to you. So I think finding a balance between those two is very important.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it was you that mentioned leadership. So, and you mentioned Rio Ferdinand, how he led himself as example for his kids and everything like that.
Yeah.
So what, you believe that leading yourself or oneself is as equal to what leading others? Is there like a similarity between both? You need to, or maybe you need to lead yourself first, and then you'll be able to use that sort of
100%.
skills of leading yourself, and you can just dish it out to others as well. And be
It's
able to
very
lead
interesting
them.
you say that. So there's two things I can refer this back to. You must lead from the front. You can't lead from the back. You need to take on hardships and be the first one in battle so that the rest of the army will follow you. No one's going to follow a coward. Do you see what I'm saying? You need to be the guy at the front that's leading from the front. You also need to show compassion to the people, take their opinions, and even if you're not taking a full opinion, even if it's something that you don't agree with, take it in, make them feel heard, and they'll respect you more as a leader. They'll feel more valued and they'll feel more inclined to work harder. Do you see what I'm saying? The second thing is, I'm going to relate this to leading a household. There's this saying or quote, I can't remember where it's from. Someone in the comments let me know. It's a guy that wanted to change the world. And he tried to change the world and he failed. So he said, cool, this might be too big of a task. Let me try change my country. Same thing, failed. He said, now let me try change my city, make a positive impact. Failed. He said, let me try change my village. Failed again. To the point where he tried to change his household and he still failed. And then upon upon hindsight and upon giving it more thought, he realized if he started from changing his household first, then changing his village, then changing his city, then changing the country, he could have succeeded in changing the world. So it all goes down to the very, very smallest part.
Foundation.
Because at the end of the day, society is made up of homes, families, which make up villages, which make up cities, which make up countries, which makes up the world. If everyone was to focus on their household and fix their household, collectively, you've now fixed the village, which fixes the city, which fixes the country, which fixes the world. So you need to start from yourself and the ones that are closest to you before you can start changing other people. And it's very important to be a good leader in your household because that's the only way you can change it. If you're not going to change it, you're seeing what's happening now,
Mm.
where there's no father in the house. Fatherhood is very important.
Mm.
It's
Very important.
Anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, I think in terms of confidence as well, if you're trying to lead someone other than yourself and you don't have the confidence, you can't even lead yourself, you're just going to fail. Because if you can't do it for yourself, how do you
Yeah.
expect to do it for everyone else?
It's like, imagine me preaching about health and getting in shape and building muscle, having low body fat percentage, but I'm someone that's so fat, understands nothing about nutrition. People will not take my advice if
I don't
I
think you would
wasn't.
take yourself serious as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't
course.
take myself serious.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't even want to give advice
Mm.
because I'm not there. You have to be the guy before you can influence people to do the right things. And also, I think as a leader, you should have the courage to be disliked. I think a lot of people just go through life trying to please other people, and I think that's a very bad mindset
That's
to
a
have.
very good point.
Yeah, you need to have that courage to be disliked, to have that confrontation. Cool, discuss it with your team members, but a decision is going to be made. Does that make sense? And that decision might upset someone. But as long as you're discussing, like he said, you're being compassionate with the people, you're discussing ideas, you're seeing their perspective, and then you make the decision. Don't be trying to please everyone because you're going to lose your head trying to please everyone.
If you try
Be-
and please everyone, you're going to end up making everyone... You'll end up
it's an
pleasing no
impossible
one.
battle.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah, you're going to upset some people. Be comfortable with upsetting some people.
So
I think that's a good leader.
who's the leader of this group?
There's no
You've
leader.
got leaders.
No leaders, yeah.
We're
There's no
equal,
leader.
equal shareholders.
I like that.
But what it is, I would say each of us know our strong points and our weak
Mm.
points. So like, it's
Yeah.
good we bounce off
And we
each
put
other.
our egos aside when it comes to certain things. If
Yeah.
someone's better at something, we'll let them take charge of that situation.
Yeah,
And each of us has a different skill set that is better at other things, and maybe we lack in certain aspects.
Mm.
And then we can always fill in for each other's gaps or flaws. And that's the importance of brotherhood. You can never fill in every single category. You can never conquer every single realm fully. There's always someone that can do it better than you. But finding a team where you cover each other's backs in places that they lack is very, very important. And that's what's going to propel you to achieving your goals.
and then I also want to add that we are leaders of our community, and in order to be good leaders, we need to lead by example.
Mm.
For example, we have a section or comments, a section where you send in pictures of healthy meals. We need to show that we're eating healthy so that we can encourage the rest to eat healthy. We need to show up every day in the gym and send pictures that we're in the gym, we're actually working, so that the people in the community can actually follow and take inspiration. Oh, cool, I need to get in the gym. Does that make sense?
Mm.
So yeah.
So talking about food and eating right and everything, even for me personally, I want to know some stuff about what foods can increase testosterone, what things can reduce testosterone, what things can just in general health as well, to be honest.
I think the basic part of it, before you get into the whole which foods increase testosterone, the biggest factor is eating clean. Don't worry about, if I eat pomegranates, I'm going to increase my testosterone. Worry about cleaning your diet. Then once you do that and you've sort of conquered that, then you can look at these little things. Just
Yeah,
wanted
so
to say
focus
that.
on the...
Yeah.
What he's saying is focus on the major parts
Mm.
before you fix the minor parts. For example, a lot of people ask us, how do I increase my testosterone? Or does this increase testosterone? But their lifestyle is completely rubbish. So I'd say the first few things you focus on is your sleep, your diet, your exercise, your environment, your friends. Are you doing competitive things? These are the major things you should focus on. Then after that, you can focus on the small things to optimize your testosterone.
Microplastics.
Exactly. People are telling me about microplastics and what are things that people focus on,
Chemicals,
like
stuff
chemicals or polyester or
Yeah.
like these things are yes
Having
they
your
do.
phone in your pocket for the
Yeah.
radiation
Yeah,
that
yeah.
will kill your testosterone. Like,
Oh,
these
what-
are minor things, bro.
Yeah,
Mm.
like you're not exercising, but you're worried about your phone in your pocket. That's focus on the major things. So you asked us what foods increase and what foods lower. Staying away from ultra processed food will do the most of the job. Does that make sense? Will increase your testosterone. Especially if you're someone that's majority of their diet is junk, ultra processed food, just by eliminating these foods and implementing whole foods, you're gonna see big changes. Then once you do that, you can optimize by maybe eating more red meat, more fats, this, that. First start by eliminating ultra processed foods, they are destroying your brain, your dopamine, your gut health, your immune system,
Increasing your cravings.
and they are affecting your productivity,
Mm.
which then affects your results and what your life is like. So yeah, focus on clean foods, then focus on your macros, eating high protein, eating dietary fat, which is actually important for testosterone, eating carbs as well. People are scared of carbs nowadays. This keto thing is being pushed out. Carbs are very important for your insulin production, your testosterone production. Don't be scared of carbs. I've been eating carbs for the last 5-6 years, and I went from being someone that's 40% body fat, very overweight, no muscle, to where I am now. I've always eaten carbs. I've never taken out my diet. So don't be scared of carbs. Eat dietary fat, eat protein, lean meats, focus on whole foods. Get rid of like this, especially nowadays when you read the ingredient list,
Vegan patties,
like, so you're eating soy
1,000
protein. Nah,
ingredients, man.
protein bars as well. People think they're healthy just because of the macros. Yes, the macros are healthy, but when you look at the ingredients, you're eating soy, you're eating emulsifiers, you're eating stabilizers, things that are disrupting your gut and your hormones, and then in the long term is not actually helping you as much as you think it is.
And look, one protein bar, these little ingredients in one protein bar, like a little bit of seed oil, for example, is not going to kill you. But check the ingredients of what you're eating day to day. 90% of the things you're eating are going to have these rubbish ingredients. And accumulated, it makes a massive difference. Seed oils are not bad for you in very small amounts. Of course not. It's not going to kill you. But when it's in everything and anything that you're eating, it builds up, and now you're over-consuming these things. And that's what is detrimental. It's not just the one protein bar. It's the 2 protein bars you're having a day for the last 4 years that's going to affect you. And then that combined with all the other foods that you eat and that have rubbish ingredients, all of that put together is what's going to affect you.
And if you think about it, yeah, look at advertisements nowadays. Have you ever seen an advertisement saying eat more steak? There's no such thing. Eat more veggies, eat more fruits. It will always be an advertisement of a company that's got a product full of ingredients. And they're trying to push the agenda of high protein, low carbs, this, that. Nah, you should look at the ingredients.
Low sugar, but it's got
Low
multi-dextrin.
You know the marketing strategies they do. I watched. It was actually in the nutrition course that we were looking at. Not even that. I think I watched a video. But there's a lot of marketing strategies they'll put and write on the box to make you think that it's healthy. For example, cereal will say high in iron, but when you look at the back, that's the last thing on the whole list of ingredients.
And it's non-heme iron, which is less bioavailable in the body. So little things like that.
Yeah, the bioavailability.
It's all
as well,
marketing
all
they
matters.
do. Yeah.
Focus on whole foods. Like we come from nature. We should eat things that come from nature.
And that is a very important thing. A lot of people are going to sit here and say, you lot aren't qualified nutritionists to be speaking about this. I don't need to be a nutritionist to tell you eating foods with fewer ingredients and natural foods is better than eating ultra-processed foods. Anyone with a brain can tell you that. You don't need to have a qualification that says this, that, the other. And it's also a thing of, like I said earlier, there's no point, like, it's very difficult to learn if you try and do everything yourself. Take from people that are already knowledgeable in the field. We take from people that are knowledgeable in this field, and we just relay the information. If they've said it and they've got the credits, me repeating what they say doesn't mean I have to also have the credits. Yeah, like he said, we are living proof that this works. If you saw what we looked like a year ago compared to now,
exactly.
Huge
and
difference.
Have you ever seen the people that the health administration or this, that, they're probably the most qualified
they're all obese
people. You look at them, they're giving advice, but you look like this.
Put some pictures. When we clip this up, we're going to put some pictures of the health ministers of certain countries. And if you want to take health from these people rather than people that have actually transformed their bodies, then by all means, continue being brainless.
And another thing I would like to say is, and this is very, very controversial, is an eye-opener for a lot of people, is the pharmaceutical industry is a business. They are here to make as much money as possible. So these companies, these multi-billion-dollar companies, are creating foods that are addictive and are not good for your health, so that you can get sick, so that now you can go to the doctor and the doctor can prescribe you pills that they're making money off. A hospital with empty beds is not going to make money. Hospital is a business model. They need sick people for them to make money. And they do that by feeding you rubbish.
Every patient cured is a customer lost. Remember that.
Exactly.
So do you guys believe the new monkeypox thing that's happening now?
I actually haven't seen too much about it.
I don't know. I don't believe anything nowadays.
Monkeypox, take out the K.
Moneypox, yeah.
Money making scam, bro. Same as COVID, bro.
Yeah, man.
Same thing.
Do you know, it's very easy to sell something that's easy to people. If I tell you you've got a headache, take a paracetamol, That's easy. That's light.
Mm.
If I tell you to fix your headache, fix your diet, do this, take some raw honey, give it a shot.
Exactly. Even going back to that monkeypox that you're talking about, the media needs something
Scary.
crazy to happen
It's
so that they can
fear-mongering.
mock it.
Yeah.
So if I now say there's COVID that's gonna kill this many people, now everyone's scared, and then the media makes money. The media needs crazy, absolutely
Headlines.
absurd news for you to actually spend your time and watch them, and for them to make money. If they're talking about boring things that happen in day-to-day life, like if the media hasn't got anything to talk about, they're not gonna make money.
Yeah.
So they're gonna create things for people to indulge in, so that they can make money.
Do you
A
guys
lot
watch-
of things. Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
A lot of things are coming out now. How the COVID vaccines are very dangerous now,
Mm.
and a lot of people back in the day were encouraging people to take them, and now they're eating their words because it's like, people are dying now. Like young athletes having blood clots because they took the vaccine, because they're athletes, obviously they have to. Now they're dropping dead and having strokes and whatnot when they were perfectly healthy before, because it was an untrialed vaccine. Like it came out of nowhere. Immediately, bro. Vaccines there's one thing about vaccines, it needs to be tried and tested over the course of a few years before they deem it safe. COVID vaccines, they came out of it in 2-3 months.
Has anyone taken a vaccine?
No,
No.
absolutely not, bro.
No way, no.
You took the vaccine.
Long day
My
for you,
dad
long day.
pressured me.
Get out of the room.
No.
But
No, but I'd like to say there was a lot of situations back then that people were forced into taking it.
Well,
we
I
were
just
trying to-
forced
into
bro,
taking
we had
it.
to fly out for for like family reasons, innit? And the only way we could fly out at that time was with the whole vaccine.
Certain jobs
bullshit.
needed it as well.
Did you take it?
No, I haven't taken
Oh,
it.
okay.
I promise you I haven't taken it.
I'm
But-
pure-blooded. I'm
but
unvaccinated.
I know for a fact there were sense they've done it so smart where people were forced to take it, bro. Jobs
Of course,
needed
yeah,
it.
if you want to travel,
People that
you
even
just
work in the
take it.
NHS, bro, you had to take that.
Mm.
Were you gonna throw your job away now?
Bro, it's actually crazy how they pressured
But
you.
everyone
but
should have
my
learned their lessons from
Oh
the
my
COVID.
Again, it's like
From
I said, it's
COVID.
fear mongering. What they'll
Yeah.
do is they'll tell you this many people are dying, but imagine a vaccine, not a vaccine, a virus so deadly, you had to get tested to see if you had it. Like, it doesn't make sense, bro. Imagine the deadliest virus in history, but you had to get a test to know if you had it.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's
Very
that deadly,
true.
you'd
No.
know you had it, bro. Like, it's mad, man.
Another topic
That-
I'd like
that
to
is
touch
such
on
a scam, bro.
is studies. For example, let's say you're a company now, you've created a product that's not so healthy, but you want people to be addicted to it and not see it as unhealthy. And let's say I've got vegan patties I want to sell, but my vegan patties have rapeseed oil, have soy protein, all these kind of rubbish. I'm gonna spend a lot of money to create a study that shows that vegan patties is actually better than steak, for example. That's got one ingredient, bioavailable protein. Now people study. We've been brainwashed to think that studies is the final point. So cool, now I've read a study that says this, that is that. I'm gonna eat the vegan patty. A lot of studies, especially if you go all the way to the bottom of the studies, you can actually see who's funded the study. A lot of them are funded by the same people that want you to eat that.
And they're hypocrites as well, because like the whole idea of vegan is so you don't kill animals. But the process it takes to make these vegan patties, I'm
Destroy
pretty
so
sure
many
is
animals.
a lot more detrimental to the environment.
Yeah, bro. Like, be careful with studies nowadays. Everyone just going off by studies. I think experience is a better study than reading a randomized. Someone on the internet has been slapped on there, just a Google sheet.
How can a
like-
food with 300 ingredients be better than steak, which, like he said, is one ingredient, and the ingredient is cow?
Literally, it's common
you can't
sense.
compare the
It's
two.
common sense.
It's very normal. And if you go to these studies, like you were saying, you go to the bottom, you see the conflict of interest section. There's thousands of conflicts of interest because the people who are doing the studies are also shareholders in that company that want the company to thrive because they make more money off it. Like, it's just a scam, man. Check studies very, very properly before you start following these studies blindly.
Do you guys watch the news?
Well, I ain't watched the news in maybe 10 years. bro.
Rarely. Twitter is something I would use
Yeah, Twitter is the
just to
news,
be
yeah.
kind of like, you want to be updated, but you don't want to also spend too much of your time on these things. Does that make sense? You don't
Oh,
want to
I see.
affect your productivity.
No, because I just want to know if you guys are like, what's the word? Like skeptical of reality of what's going on in society and all of that.
Like, we understand that the
Do you think
media.
the world is flat and all of them things there?
Absolutely.
I think it is good to just be aware of what the media is trying to put out. I think that's not a bad thing.
It's
to
very
do.
hard balancing being unaware and being too absorbed in the media where now
True.
everything you see you believe.
It's true.
It's very difficult.
So you guys believe in the Matrix?
Absolutely.
It's a real thing. It's not. I believe in it.
I
It's
don't
a
even
real
call it the
thing.
Matrix. I call it devil. It is the devil's work.
Mm.
Simple as, especially in Islamically. You know, you've got the evil, you've got the good.
I think it's not just Islam. They're attacking every single idea of God amongst all religions. They want to destroy the idea of God. They want a godless society.
Do you guys see the Olympics?
Yeah,
That's
Awesome,
crazy,
guys, bro.
crazy.
huge disrespect.
I think as a non-Christian, we're not Christians, we're all Muslims here, but we take that's very disrespectful.
Mm.
Like for you, like there is no reason why you had to do that. There is no correlation.
Unless you're trying to push an agenda.
Yeah, 100%.
They
And
had
it links back.
overweight drag queens. So the Olympics is sporting event.
And that's also.
First
another
of all,
big
you
part.
have overweight drag queens be in the front page, like they're the ones presenting it. First of all, like they're there on the stage doing their performance, whatever. First of all, that has no business in the Olympics. Second of all, what does the Last Supper have to do with the Olympics? There is zero correlation between the two. And then when you mix in the drag queens as well, it's even less correlation.
Like it's obvious they're trying to disrespect.
They're
It's
just
very
attacking-
obvious.
They're attacking religion and they want to see how much they can attack religion.
100%.
Same as the Charlie Hebdo incident.
Mm.
They wanted to see how far they can push the limit and see if they can disrespect religions in a certain way. Obviously, I'm not justifying the retaliation, but they saw that at that moment they can't disrespect the Prophet of Islam like that.
Mm.
Do you see what I'm saying? And they learned very quickly. Within a matter of, they learned very, very quickly. And since then, I ain't seen another incident like that. So
we have a very similar situation that's happened to us personally. Don't know if you guys want to get into it.
yeah, go on.
I think,
The thingy when we left.
yeah,
our
where we
last job.
left.
Oh,
Yeah. I think, just to not mention any companies, any names, but we were in a job where they pushed out a certain event that was very similar in terms of trying to disrespect. The event was a gay Muslim event or a first Muslim gay out event, whatever it is.
Drag
Drag
queen.
queen event.
That was the event.
Like, and we pushed for that to be removed off the website, and then they didn't end up doing it. So then we decided to leave the job. But it's crazy, like we said, it doesn't make sense. Why are you putting that with that? It's clearly trying to get a reaction, clearly trying to disrespect. And it's crazy how, like, society is trying to push this thing.
It's Satan, innit?
Yeah.
Like we're told in our religion, like Shaitan makes the evil and the sin makes it look beautiful, attractive. You want to do those things. And it makes the good deeds look unattractive. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to separate us from our religions because the further you are from your religion, the more controllable you are.
1,000,000%.
And that's their
That's very,
ultimate
very
goal, in my opinion. They want to separate from a religion so that you're more controllable and they are less likely to be caught.
Amsterdam is a very good example.
Talk to us.
Amsterdam, everywhere you go, you see colours.
Yeah, it's
You
like
understand what we mean?
it's like wherever you go, you walk into a train station,
train station,
rainbow flag.
Mm.
buses.
You walk outside, rainbow flags everywhere. It's like they just want to instill it in your mind. It's a thing where you just wherever you go is rainbows.
They're very good at marketing.
Yeah, it's very good marketing.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
But yeah, so question everything that you see. I think that's good advice.
Good, yeah. I think
Don't just believe everything. And yeah.
So let's talk about the raw honey.
Yes, the raw honey.
I've actually got some.
You guys, okay, cool. You could bring them out. We've had a few new additions since last time.
Yeah, we did.
You guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we first started off with raw wildflower honey. Tastes amazing. Look at our reviews. Go on our TikTok shop. You'll see everyone loves it, apart from that one person that put that review. But yeah,
Haters,
and
man,
then
haters.
we added 2 new additions. We got the what?
Should I do some ASMR?
Go on. He's gonna show you it. But we added ginger
And turmeric.
and turmeric. Yeah,
Right, guys, ASMR time.
you can use this clip for the.
Mm-hmm.
Got a wooden honey stick. I should do this
You've
for a
really
living,
been
you know.
you've really been watching them
Of course
ASMR
not.
videos.
I don't waste my time on asinine things.
So which one's that one?
This is the regular wildflower honey. I'll show it in front of this camera. Probably be out of frame though.
Yeah,
It won't
give
be,
it to me. Try do it with your camera.
It's not zoomed in. It's not focused. Regardless, I'll put it here so it's focused. This is the honey. Comes in a box. You get a honey stick with it. What else do we have?
Yeah,
You guys
should
have been
pick the
doing a
next
lot
one.
of I don't know if you guys have been watching their TikTok, but they've done a lot of collaborations with
Yeah,
other creators and everything. How's that been?
it's good. I've missed the last collaboration. I think you guys should speak on it. Where they met up with Dee's Kitchen.
Oh yeah, Dee's Kitchen, that guy, man, is a real G, bro.
This is the date syrup.
I just wanted to say quickly, like, you see, we were talking about how they're trying to control us. Nowadays, they understand that people are on a self-improvement journey. So if everyone's eating healthy and whole foods, what they're gonna do? They're gonna attack the healthy and whole foods. They know that honey is very dangerous to them because you're gonna have high testosterone, you're gonna have better health, but they don't want that. So they're gonna add stupidity like syrup, fructose corn syrup, as it's been shown to the honey.
This is the turmeric honey.
And then now you think you're having honey, but you're having high fructose corn syrup, which makes you more controllable.
Can I ask a question?
And this is when we come in,
Go on.
and
Fill them up.
stop them. Does that make sense? We come in with real raw honey, no processing. Honey is supposed to be something that you eat straight from the bee, from what is created. Doesn't need no processing. Why are you filtering it? Why are you pasteurizing it? Honey is antibacterial, so it can last forever.
They'll dilute it with sugar syrup and sell it to you as a health product when really it's just destroying you. And last but not least, this is the ginger honey, which is my personal favorite.
Why honey? Like for your first product, why couldn't you pick something else? Why is it specifically honey?
So look, I think, yeah, this is kind of business advice, even though we're not multimillionaires. When you want to create a business, you need to solve a problem. And what we did is we built an audience. First of all, we were waking people up to eating healthy and hitting the gym, created a community. And then we kind of asked ourselves, what sort of problem is our audience experiencing? And one of them was raw honey. A lot of our followers were asking us, where did you get your raw honey from? We'd send them to a competitor, which I don't want to mention. And then we thought, what? Mehdi actually thought of it. Great idea. He thought, why don't we just supply it? If everyone's asking for it, we could supply it. There's a gap in the market. And then we thought, yeah, that's a problem we can solve. And this goes into advice now, is if you want to start a business, you should approach it like, how can I solve someone's problem? You shouldn't just solve things. You're not selling things. You're not making profit. You're helping a customer you're helping them tackle their problems. That's how I think the best way to approach any business.
What problem did we help tackle by providing?
So the problem is, nowadays when you walk into a supermarket, the honey's been tampered with, the honey's been pasteurized, filtered, and all of that. It's lost all these benefits. So you can't enjoy the medicinal properties of honey unless you get raw honey. Have you ever seen raw honey in Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury's?
Very rare.
You
Very
haven't.
rarely.
So then we thought, yeah, let's provide it to the market.
It's also a lot of people nowadays have a sugar addiction, and this has been proven to actually help with blood glucose control as well as many other benefits in terms of honey. So we're now tackling the problem of people that want to remove processed sugar from their life but still want to have sweet things. Like, you can enjoy both by getting some raw honey. You can get the benefits of raw honey and still not miss out on the sweeter things in life. Do you know what I'm saying? And most importantly, obviously, honey is mentioned in the Quran as a benefit. So
Exactly. So another problem was, if you are ill and you have poor immune system all the time, you don't want to take pills. Boom, raw honey.
I would like to make
That's
a very
another
big.
problem as
I
well.
would like to mention something. I promise you, this is also including a clean diet. But since I've cleaned my diet and had raw honey, I actually don't remember the last time I got properly sick. The last time I got sick was like a little tingle in my throat, maybe a little runny nose. But I promise you, genuinely, I don't remember the last time I actually got properly sick. And
Say
that's
alhamdulillah.
alhamdulillah.
So the reason you guys picked honey specifically is because in your videos and that, a lot of the things that you would eat or promote or whatever is raw honey. So you guys just thought, let me just start them up.
It was a
Yeah,
gap in the market and there was
yeah.
demand for it. So we just, simple business, bring the supply. If there's demand, supply it. Very simple. And yeah, alhamdulillah, it's been doing good. We hit 1,000 honey sold recently.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, after a few
Mashallah.
weeks.
Alhamdulillah.
So
That's just on TikTok, by the way.
just on TikTok
Yeah.
shop, and it's a bit more than 1,000, probably on like 1.3, 1.4K maybe.
But the reason I
Alhamdulillah,
think
yeah.
personally, I think you guys might agree, the reason I think you guys hit 1,000, maybe even more, is because of the marketing.
Absolutely.
I don't know if
Marketing
people have
is-
seen
We're
it,
starting
but
to build a brand around the funny marketing that we post. Yeah.
explain why you guys are like posting those specific type of marketing videos.
I mean, we understand that everyone nowadays has a TikTok brain,
Mm.
and you want to entertain the people. That's how you retain attention nowadays. It's if you have boring videos just explaining the benefits of honey, you're not going to go very far because people,
Don't
quite
care.
frankly, don't care. They're just going to swipe. So the way you capture attention is by getting that hook. The first 3-4 seconds of the video are very important. And we thought, yeah, let's do something funny. At the same time, provide value. And then, yeah, it's worked in our favor.
I think you need to be different, especially in business. It's very competitive. So you have to stand out some way.
Yeah.
It's not point me just going on a video, just showing the honey, taking it out. Like,
And also, that's not us as people as well.
It's
I
true,
think
yeah.
a brand should be a reflection of how you are as a person as well. Like, you shouldn't, first of all, sell a product you don't believe in. And second of all, I think your brand should be a reflection of how you are as a
100%,
person. So when we're making these little skits and stuff,
it's actually, yeah.
I promise you, we probably laugh at them more than the viewers.
Yeah,
Genuinely, like,
100%,
we'll be
yeah.
watching
We
back the
find them
clips
so
and we'll be
funny.
dying. Even a
Yeah.
month later, we'll watch a video, I'm still laughing. I was editing the self-defense video.
Yeah.
Every single time watching it, I'm smiling. And I don't even clock it until after that. I'm like, oh, I'm smiling. Like,
Yeah.
I'm entertained by the content because it's actually us. Like, it's how we are
Some
off camera.
personalities, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's how we are.
It goes a long way because it builds that deeper connection with our audience. We're not just boring guys that provide value. You should eat whole foods because this, that. No, add some character to it.
No, you
People actually resonate with you a lot more. We're not just robots.
And that's why we started doing long format content as well. We started vlogging. We've obviously vlogged our Amsterdam trip. We vlogged. What else did we vlog?
We
The
vlogged.
barbecue yesterday. We had a
barbecue.
barbecue. Vlogged it. We vlogged. What did me and you vlog the other day?
What was it? Vlog the training, innit?
Yeah.
In the gym.
Guys, since we're talking
Me and
about
him
vlogging,
vlogged.
let's post a little clip for the.
Go on.
Go on. You're watching it live right now.
Yes,
This
guys.
is gonna be in the vlog. Hello.
Yo.
There you go.
All right, cool. Got another question.
Mm.
Do you think that your audience, looking at your videos and everything, does it have like an effect into what you guys are doing? Does it help shape your content at all, or is it you guys just gonna stick to your roots one?
Yeah, we react to how people see our video. So let's say we post a video and we're getting comments and people are liking it. Now we implement that in the next few videos. For example, the self-defense one done very well. And what we understood from that video is that the hook was very good. Everyone thought it was a self-defense video, and then it suddenly turned into a bundle promotion. Does that make sense? So we understood from that video, cool, like we need to actually capture their attention first, something so unrelated to honey, and then make it about honey all of a sudden. Everyone was saying in the comments, great marketing, great marketing. So we highly value our viewers' feedback because that's where we grow. At the end of the day, if no one's giving you feedback, then you don't know what you're doing wrong or what you're doing well. And then you're not going to grow. You're just going to keep posting the same things thinking that's going to work one day. Whereas if there's sometimes we post videos and they do trash, absolutely. And we look at their retention and be like, cool, like we did something wrong here. Clearly, they're not watching the video. They're just swiping past. That's when you think deeper and you analyze the video.
Look
Where
deeper.
we went wrong. Look deeper.
Are there any like memorable, like specific comments that stuck to you guys and you guys implemented it? Or
Yeah, there was one recently in our Warzone Health where it was actually one of mine. I posted a video of explaining how you can get in shape within this much time. And it is a bit repetitive. And someone commented, bro, these videos are getting repetitive. Change it up a little bit. And then that's when we start thinking, cool, this is clearly... We've posted value. We've built that audience and people trust us. Now it's time to change the content a little bit. It's actually getting boring and repetitive. So
Even
then
for
we
us making the content, it's like we're just
It is,
repeating
yeah.
ourselves continuously. It's like,
yeah.
if the viewers are getting bored, we're getting bored. It's
yeah.
time to make a change,
And I've-
diversify the content a bit.
And I think we realised rather than just speaking, it's better to show it. So I think that's sort of the angle we want to go at now.
Yeah.
To show the lifestyle that we actually live rather than
Yeah.
just speak about it.
And that's another reason why we started doing long format
Yeah.
content.
So
If you want to watch that, the Rumble,
go on,
plug it.
you got to do it, you got to do
The
it.
Rumble is Warzone Health, no spaces, no capitals, nothing. Warzone Health on Rumble and on YouTube.
On YouTube as
Both,
well.
yeah.
And if you want the clips as well, it's going to be on our Instagram, Warzone Health, and
Mhm.
our TikTok.
Yeah, good plug.
Can you guys walk us through the process
Of?
posting a TikTok?
We can, yes.
Yeah, essentially
So
we just link up. We sit in the car and just think. That's the first step. Brainstorm. Yeah.
That car, if you see, just so many
So
ideas.
the most
with it.
creative ideas come out of that polo,
Yeah.
bro. We just sit down and just think, okay, cool. How can I entertain the viewers? How can I promote this product? How can I provide value? And then ideas, usually 99% of the time, the first idea we come up with isn't the best, but it starts us off.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's the first step. Then from that idea, we think, how can I improve this idea? Yeah, cool, it's a good idea overall, but it's not really gonna capture their attention. They think, okay, why do we do this? Then another idea comes up, and then we mix ideas. And then because you've got 3 people working on one thing, you always have very good creative ideas.
3 minds is better than 1.
Yeah. And then some take a lot of times, like a lot of
Retakes.
Yeah, we keep retaking the video because we want it to be good. We don't want to post rubbish videos. Sometimes it's just we get in the first go. Those are the best ones, bro.
Those are the best ones.
This morning we posted the one today. This morning where we done quote of the day, where he's carrying boxes of parcels that we were dropping off from all our orders last night and this morning, and we literally sat in a car and Anas was like, "Oh, let's just do a quote of the day video, where you ask me quote of the day, and then I'll tell you the quote and then just advertise the bundle." So we done that, and we just thought of the quote together, searched some quotes, whatever. Very quick. Took 5 minutes tops. Filmed the video first try, smashed it, posted it, done. We've got a few sales. I've been watching my phone. There's a few sales coming through.
Exactly, and we implemented some advice from the previous video. So what I was thinking is, cool, what did well? Clearly, the self-defense video did well. What did that do? How did it do well? Is we did something completely unrelated to the video, and then we promoted the bundle. So what I did is something that was completely unrelated is the quote of the day. That's got nothing to do with honey. So I was like, what was the quote?
New opportunities come every day. You just have to take them.
And then he's like, what's the opportunity? The opportunity is you can get free honeys for 33% off.
It might not be there when you watch it, but
so, yeah.
Snooze, you lose.
there you go.
So do you guys want to try one now then, while we're in the podcast?
Yeah,
what?
why not?
The video.
Try and make a
Content
video now, see how that turns out.
Hey, he's
Yeah,
putting
go
us
on.
on the spot.
Yes.
Let's think of some brainstorms. You guys are watching this now.
4 mics, 4 products. We'll do the products in place of us. So you can be the date syrup.
No, I think with that, I think he should be the.
You didn't get the joke, bro.
I get the joke, he's black.
Yeah, you can be the date syrup. And then we'll have a honey each, and like the honeys will be doing a podcast instead of us, and they'll be speaking and we'll voice over it.
Cool.
Should we film that quick?
Yeah, cool.
See, the work never stops. Let's go.
Let's get the date syrup.
I think he should stay in it. So
As in you want to be the interviewer?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
asks the question.
Okay, yeah, cool. We'll get
Do you want
I
to get
think,
them out?
I think we should just do the 1 wildflower, 1 date syrup.
yeah.
Yeah. What's the question? What are you gonna ask them?
One wildflower, one date
thinking.
syrup.
I think you should be out of you two. Who's the better?
Like, what's the importance of being raw?
That's a good one.
How beneficial do you guys think you are to society?
Yeah, that's
That's a good one.
a
That's a good one.
Go on, let's do it.
Guys, how beneficial do you think you are towards society?
Can't lie, you see me, yeah, I'll change your life. Unlike them fake honeys in the supermarket. I'll boost your immune system, your test, even your gut health. But what can you do?
I'm packed with minerals. I'm high in fiber. I'm basically a liquid version of dates. And guess what? I taste better.
Taste better, you must be dizzy.
Guys, relax. You're both good for society.
Hey, who's my man?
So I'm low test guy.
Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Something that we just literally came up with right now. Do you guys think it was good?
Quick, should do good. You never know. We'll see it at the time
Something
of the
new.
video.
No one's seen it before. Like,
Yeah.
Again, what we were saying about being creative. It's just,
Something new. Alright, cool. So we've got a bit left. So one thing that I really want to speak about is Islam. We've done a lot of clips posted. We posted it up on TikTok. It done well, but there's again a lot of people that don't agree with what we said. The dynamics of a house. Islamically, how do you think it should be going? Like how should it run? Should a man have a traditional man's role, or what? Nowadays you see 50-50 split household. What is it?
I think it should always start first thing you should focus on as a man, because I'm speaking from a man's perspective, is do your duty of protecting and providing. And that's the first thing you need to focus on in order to protect, obviously get yourself in a good physical shape, get your mindset correct. Mental health is as important as the physical health, as well as the providing. Try set yourself up from now. Like, don't focus on these what other people are doing. You know, some people will focus on partying, clubbing, all of these things. It's a waste of time. You've got a future ahead of you. You've got a family that you're gonna hopefully raise. So I think focus on doing those two as a man, and then the rest will obviously come. I think that's the first thing that should be done.
Anything else? No?
I think taking charge of your household, sort of gone over this briefly already, but especially when it comes to Islam, the men are the caretakers of the women. I don't know if that's the correct English interpretation, but الرجال قوامون على النساء. So the men are the protectors, providers of the women, that sort of thing. It's also an obligation in Islam as a man for you to provide the basic necessities for your woman and your kids. You need to provide, obviously, shelter, food, clothing, the basics. And then if you're doing that, I look at, okay, you're fulfilling these duties that you've been given as a man. And I know the feminists are not going to like this one, but in Islam, it is your duty for you to obey your husband unless he asks something very unreasonable of you, or if he asks you to do something haram. Apart from those two things, you must obey the husband. This is something, don't argue with me, argue with the Quran, which you cannot do. Do you see what I'm saying? I know this one's going to get a lot of backlash, but that is your duty that you must fulfill as a wife to your husband. But similarly, the man has also responsibilities he has to fulfill, like protecting, providing. No one complains when it comes to us lot doing this thing. So if you're going to sit there and complain, I'll also complain about having to do what's prescribed to me. That sort of thing. Protection also is a big one. If someone was to intrude into the house, I would never, ever, ever expect my wife to go downstairs and confront the intruder. I would go and do it myself. If someone was to approach us in the street in a violent manner, I would want to be the one that challenges that person and confronts that person. I'd hate for my wife to be in a position where she has to do that. God forbid. Do you know what I'm saying? I think those two things. And then again, leading a household. You need to be that strong rock in your house where everyone can depend on you. And you need to lead by example. You need to have strong opinions, strong character. You must do what's most beneficial for the family. You can't be selfish. You have to look out for everyone else. And I think the best dynamic is where the husband loves the wife and the wife respects the man. I think men don't really seek love in a relationship.
So you think respect's more important?
The most important thing a man wants is respect. And I think when the woman respects the man and the man loves the woman, that is the most effective dynamic. And I think that's the best environment to raise children in. I think that's the most thriving environment.
And I think a lot of men nowadays go wrong in their relationship because they demand respect when they don't deserve respect. So there's nothing about you that deserves respect. You're not in shape, you're not providing, you're not protecting, you're not being that role model for your children. So then how, as a woman, is she going to be able to give you that respect that you desire, that you want? You want to be respected by your wife, of course. But if you're not that man, she's not going to respect you. That's why you need to do things and take action that are going to help you become that man. And I think you do that before the marriage. Does that make sense? Still work on it after the marriage, of course, but set yourself up to become that person that demands respect, has that aura about him. And then with that will come some sort of authority. Because at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, you are responsible for your children and your wife. And with responsibility, like we all know, comes authority. If I'm responsible for you, I have some sort of authority. And yeah.
So let me switch it around. Let's put yourself in the woman's perspective. What are some things, some signs that a woman should seek on from her husband, just from seeing
Face value,
yeah.
I think the dedication and discipline from a man. Like, a lot of men aren't in the position they want to be in, but you can tell a lot about a man from his mindset, from what he's trying to achieve. Like, not every man out there is a millionaire, but if he's got the mindset and he's put in work towards becoming more financially free, becoming stronger, becoming more responsible, I think these are things that you should look at. I think they'll say a lot about a man.
All right, so I can see you wearing the bracelet that says Free Palestine, the handband. Obviously, last time we spoke briefly about
Always,
it.
man.
We spoke very briefly about it, but because we all agree here, it's unanimous about what we think about the situation. But do you want to give any of your own opinions specifically about what you guys think and what's the next thing to do?
I think
hard times are coming very, very soon where I'd say Muslim men are going to have to show up.
thing is, we live in like the UK, so we don't get to see it as often in terms of how these lot see it, like how important. Like over there, every day they wake up, they don't know if they're gonna be alive the next day. But what really did open our eyes is the recent events, the riots. Then we didn't really see it too much in London, but we felt like we understood
Islam is under attack.
yeah.
So what do you guys think of the EDO riots that happened?
So look, I think it's very evident what the objective was. I think the media narrative of jumping to conclusions, and it was definitely done on purpose. Make no mistake, this wasn't a media accident. It was done on purpose. They painted the perpetrator out to be a Muslim refugee, and what happens after that is a domino effect of people now committing hate crimes against Islam, Islamophobia crimes, whatever, when in reality the guy was born in Wales. Whether you want to classify that as a refugee or not, it's up to you, but he was a Christian man born in Wales. Completely different. So why people are now attacking mosques and things, Muslims, stuff like that, it's an evident attack on Islam. And Muslim men need to be prepared. You need to be able to defend your loved ones against such attacks. And how are you going to do that? If you're weak, if you've got a beer belly, chubby guy sitting down, if you're super skinny, you don't know how to fight, you have no wits about you, you're not going to be able to defend your loved ones like that. It's
not
impossible.
Just your loved ones, even your brothers in Islam.
Even innocent
If
people.
I'm going to war with you, I don't want to look to my right and think, yo, this guy's a bot. Low test you can't fight for nothing. What is he going to do? I want to look around and I want to see strong brotherhood. Cool, the brothers around me are strong. That's going to increase my testosterone and I'm going to perform better in war.
Even non-Muslims, you need to be prepared to defend anyone that is being oppressed. If you see a dhulm in front of you, you need to intervene, you need to stop it.
100%.
That's your duty as a Muslim. Do you get what I'm saying?
And I think
you need to defend everyone, regardless of their race, background, religion, nationality, age, all of that. You need to jump in and get involved.
It's not Christianity versus Islam. It's good versus evil.
1,000,000%.
I think all religions have a lot of things in common. We should come together. We all believe in God.
And can I just say one thing as well? The cause was hijacked, definitely.
100%.
They didn't care about the 3 innocent girls that were murdered in broad daylight in cold blood. They didn't care about that because they would have had the same reaction when recently the 13-year-old or 11-year-old kid was stabbed in Piccadilly Circus. Where were the riots then? When the guy was an Eastern European man, white, Christian, from what I know. There was no reaction. But anyone with a brain will know the actions of one don't represent the actions of 2 billion people around the world. You see what I'm saying? Even if the man was a Muslim, that is not cause for you to retaliate against innocent people that have no input in the situation. If anything, they're probably quicker than you to condemn what happened. You don't care about the kids. You're just out here for some nonsense, for some dopamine. You're attacking a shoe zone. What did shoe zone do to those kids? You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
It's a hijacked cause at the end of the day.
And I think another thing that men should build on, as much as it's the physical side of it, I think you need faith to be able to stand in front of injustice and to stick up for what's right. Because you can have the biggest muscles, you can know how to throw a bang, but if you have no faith, what are you really standing up for? What gives you the courage? And we know obviously in Islam, it's not about the number or the size of the opposition.
It's about the taqwa.
Strength of
Exactly.
the iman.
Exactly.
But one thing I would like to say about the Palestine thing, I can't help but feel helpless, in all honesty. And obviously this is going to be a bit weird saying like how we're saying about emotions and this and that, but a big part of me feels helpless because every day I'm seeing innocent people, kids dying, and there's nothing we can really do
We're enjoying
right
the
now
good
at this
life.
point. Like we're here, the luxury of being able to do everything. We got a roof over our heads. There's no
Like our worries are
threat of
different.
dying every single day.
Yeah.
Like we're worried about, they call it first world problems.
Yeah.
That's our concerns. If we made enough sales today on a business, wallahi, this stuff means nothing in the grand scheme of things. When I see videos of kids being murdered and shot, and it's not.
Should be
But
an
now that we
eye-opener.
feel
Yeah.
helplessness and we're feeling that emotion, we're gonna take accountability and think, okay, what can I do in this time that's gonna help me prepare for that? That's gonna help me. That's gonna make me less useless. So we're gonna train. We're gonna do some. I don't know if I wanna disclose, but we're gonna do some training, some sort of training in that field.
We're going to give more charity.
Give more charity.
We're going to strengthen our iman.
Spend more time in the masjids.
And I'll
We're
tell
gonna
you
do-
something.
Just
Go on.
make
Knowledge
du'as
as
We're
well.
and
gonna take the
everything.
action required to become less useless.
One thing is as well, we are all to blame because the Muslim Ummah is like a human body. If you hurt your finger, you feel pain. The whole body feels the pain. You might hurt your tooth, you can't sleep at night. Now your whole body's awake for the whole night. We are responsible through our bad deeds and through our lack of repentance for the suffering of other Muslims that are worldwide. Do you know what I'm saying? So we need to look within ourselves. We need to fix up ourselves. We need to repent more. We need to avoid and abstain from certain sins that we keep repeating every single day. And who knows, maybe that will alleviate some of the stress of our Muslim brothers and sisters around the world. And that is, yeah.
And another thing I'd like to add to that, it is a real eye-opener to, like we said, about the first world problems. Like, look at what you're complaining about. Look at what you're lacking in everyday life. Be more grateful. Understand that you are privileged. There are people on the other side of the world that even when their parents have died, their siblings have died, everything, they still have a smile on their face and they still have faith. They still believe in God. But you're here, a little thing will happen and it makes you question certain things. You're ungrateful. You complain about like the dumbest things possible. I didn't get enough sleep. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Oh, I have to go uni. Bro, you are in a very good position.
Very
so use
fortunate.
that position wisely and basically, how do I say this?
Grateful for where you are.
All right, so guys, much appreciated for watching. Obviously, like I said, next time hopefully we'll have Bilal here with us as well, and we'll see what guests we have next for you guys.
And comment down below if you do want to see another part. If you have any questions that you'd like us to cover.
100%.
I'll happily have you guys back, no problem.
Thank
Oh,
you for
yeah.
having us.
Yeah.
No problem.
Finally,
Cheers,
they
guys.
got the full clip this time.
So yeah, take care, guys. See you next time. Peace.
Warzone
Free
out.
Palestine.